Hey everybody, Rob here again, and in this video on Food, Wine, and Whiskey, we are making breakfast food. That's right, breakfast food, and specifically biscuits and gravy, B's and G's, one of the favorites in our house. B's and G's, especially this time of year when it's getting cold outside and you want something rich and thick and savory on a Saturday or Sunday morning, B's and G's is the answer. On this episode, we're going to talk about how we make what you're seeing right there. That's our end product. The video is going to show you how we got there. But B's and G's are something that you can have with a group of people. And like I said, this time of year, the holiday season, you got family and visitors coming in. They're staying with you. Big pot of biscuits and gravy can feed a large number of people. Fairly easy to make. Everybody can eat at the same time. It's one of the things I like about it. So let's jump in and get started. Let's make some biscuits and gravy. First thing we need to talk about is what we need. What are the ingredients for biscuits and gravy? And it's really simple. A lot of people think that it's hard to make biscuits and gravy. It's really not. It's just getting to that right consistency. But all you need is some milk, some heavy cream, some biscuits, some breakfast sausage, all-purpose flour, and some salt and pepper. That's it. All right. Large saucepan, we're going to put it on a medium heat. And we're going to let that start to warm up. We're going to use one packet of sausage, which I've got the Jimmy Dean sausage, is what I got. Use whatever you like. If you're going to make for a larger crowd, then get a larger pot. This is going to feed 2 to 3 people. If you're going to feed 5 to 6 or 7 to 8 people, adjust accordingly. Not that hard. But we're going to put the sausage into the pan. We're going to get it all squeezed out and in there. And then we're going to start to break it down and cook it through. And we want that fat. I cook it on a medium heat. I don't want it to cook too fast. I want that fat to render out of there. We're going to start, I'm going to use a wooden spatula, and we're going to start to just kind of mix it up, break it down. And when I say break it down, I'm trying to get this to very small pieces of sausage in the pan. I don't want big chunks of sausage left. So before I start adding any flour or liquid to this to start making the gravy, I'm going to make sure that all my sausage is broken down, as you can see here. I want, when you eat that gravy, that you have sausage consistently in every bite that you're taking. And so that getting that broken down to small pieces of gravy just like this is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to get it all brown, going to get it all rendered out, going to have a little bit of fat in there. And once we get it to this point, what we're going to do is going to start to add our flour. Now, with the one packet of sausage that you saw me put in, I used 3 good helpings of tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So 3 healthy tablespoons of all-purpose flour to put into my sausage. Once I get this in, we're going to mix it all up. We're going to get that flour incorporated very well into that sausage. We want all that rendered fat to be absorbed by the flour, and we want all this to be incorporated with the sausage, everything mixed together very, very well. So it doesn't take long, just takes a couple minutes. Once you get it there, you're going to let it cook down a little bit. It's almost going to look very, very dry, and that's fine. That's exactly what you want. You want it to be that way. That's the look you're looking for. So, nothing wrong with that. Let it cook down a little bit. You're going to see it just like that. It looks a little bit dry. Perfect. That's what we want. All right, once we get there, we've left it on the stove for about another minute, stirring it about every 20 seconds. Now we've got to add the wet ingredients. And as you can see me putting in milk, I'm only putting in a little bit. I'm not going to pour all the milk I think I would need into the sausage at this time. I'm just going to put a little bit. Mix it up. It's going to get very thick. It's almost going to look pasty. That's fine. I can continue to add milk. No problem. I can stir it. Problem is, you add too much milk, it gets too thin. And what you don't want to have happen is have to add flour later. So just add a little bit of milk at a time. Get it to the consistency that you want. Keep stirring it and working it. Really doesn't take that long, but you do want to continue to stir and continue to work that milk and that flour and that sausage all together. You can see it start to get a little thick here, a little creamy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do that process until we get to a consistency that we like. But as I'm adding that milk, this is where I'm going to start to put my first layer of seasoning. So you're going to see me add some salt and some pepper here. I'll stir that in, get it incorporated very well, and have that in there. Seasoning's very important. Season to your taste. I do it twice. Here's our biscuits that we're going to be using. Not homemade. If you want to make homemade biscuits, knock yourself out. Typically, if you've had a long night the night before, opening a can of Pillsbury, that's going to be the way to go. But if you want to make homemade, do it. Knock yourself out. So get our seasoning. As I was saying just a moment ago, I like to season twice. I season where you saw me just a minute ago, and then I'll season again just before we're finished, getting ready to serve the biscuits and gravy. So I got the gravy to a consistency that I liked with the milk. It's not done yet. It's still very thick, or, as far as the meat and the flour, it's not, that nice creaminess yet. So now I'm adding my heavy cream, and the heavy cream is going to also help thicken it. But what I really like about the heavy cream is it gives it that nice color that you're looking for as well. That's just a perk of it. That's not the reason it's in there, but it's something I like, that it gives it that nice white, creamy, gravy look. And that's what I want on a nice breakfast sausage, biscuits, and gravy. Okay? So I salt and pepper again there, just like you saw. I'm going to add a little bit more heavy cream. We're going to continue to incorporate this, mix it up really well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this to a point where I have enough cream in there to where I want. It's still going to be a little bit runny because I'm still trying to work that flour out. Now I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit to a medium high, and I'm going to let this simmer here until it starts to bubble just before a boil. And then I'm going to turn the heat down. I'm going to stir this really, really well, get everything off the bottom. It should come up fairly easily. I'm going to mix that all in really, really good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back on a low heat and let it simmer for about 4 or 5 minutes, stirring it, every 30 to 40 seconds, just making sure I don't get anything stuck on the bottom of the pan. So, starting to look really good. You can see here it's starting to get thick. It's starting to look rich and creamy, getting to the point where I want it to almost be done. So, after it's been simmering 4 or 5 minutes, you can see here it's thickened up nicely. We've got the color that we're looking for. I've got the consistency that I'm looking for. I really, really, really like the way this is looking. Like that. Looks really good. This is going to be a very nice breakfast this morning. Okay. Now we're going to look at the biscuits. And they come out, like I said, 16 minutes, 350 degrees, Pillsbury biscuits, pretty simple. Nice little cheat, but still fine for really good biscuits and gravy. So if you want to make homemade biscuits, if you feel up to it, you have a recipe, you like to do it, knock yourself out. I do that sometimes, but in this particular instance, I used Pillsbury, which worked just fine. Back to the biscuits and gravy. Time to start building them. Our gravy's done. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a biscuit in half, and we're going to put both of the ends on the plate, both halves on the plate. And then what we're going to do is I like to do this. This is kind of different, but we like scrambled eggs with ours. So I put a little scrambled egg on top of each side of the biscuit. And my son, and actually my whole family, we enjoy that as part of our biscuits and gravy. So we're going to put a little egg on both halves of our biscuit. And once we get that on there, then we're going to very nicely ladle over some of the gravy we just made, and this is going to get really, really good. So here's the gravy going on. Just a nice, good spoonful. Ladle it all over that biscuit with that egg on there. This is our take on biscuits and gravy. It's nothing fancy, very easy, but very tasty. It's filling. It's great after a night out of having a few to drink, or maybe a few too many to drink, but that's our take on biscuits and gravy. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, this episode. We appreciate you watching. Share it, like it, subscribe to Food, Wine, and Whiskey in your own backyard. We'll have more videos coming out soon, and until then, enjoy your next pour.